So, as I said in my Fear and Greed video, I was going to make a video showcasing a few of my builds that I have frequently used in my recordings, and I figured I might as well share them because you guys would probably have fun with them as well. So, originally I had the idea of sharing 5 builds in this, but I eventually narrowed it down to 3 because 2 of them I decided to just completely scrap from the video entirely, not bothering to explain them. One of them is because it's a build that I don't really feel like it's worth sharing. It's just not one that I end up using that often because it just doesn't work that well, because one of the big reasons I have that build in the first place is to try and keep using adaptive, even though that armor type is kinda garbage at this point, and really I would not recommend using it whatsoever. So that's why I have that one removed. The other one that I'm not going to bother explaining is a stealth build. Because the problem with stealth builds, and this is both a thing in Skills 1.0 and 2.0, is that every stealth build is pretty much identical aside from what extra skill tree do you put your points into. Because everybody has the black hat skills, everybody has imposter skills when you're running a stealth build. It's just a question of, do you go for double bags, do you go for instant lockpick, or do you go for hostages? That's really the question. Since I don't mind hostages that much, I decided to put points into the hostage tree, so I will leave a link to both of these builds in the description. But, use it at your own discretion for the first one, and the stealth build, if you need one, just go ahead and use it. Just remember, Hacker and Conman are the skill pages that you want the most for a stealth build. But now, let's get to the meat of the show. So now that the extra 2 builds that I'm not going to bother with fully are out of the way, let's get on to the main meat of the show, since the main thing I wanted to focus on was at least one build for each deployable besides armor bags, because that one I just replaced with the ammo bag one. I'm going to start with the one that I have used the most, and that is the build that I have that primarily uses medic bags. So I have 8 points in the Conman page. There is Doctor's Orders aced, and then Field Medic 1 and 2 aced, so you get as much value out of a medic bag as possible. That's pretty much just self-explanatory. It uses medic bags. You want medic bags to be as good as you can without fully going into the actual medical skills. Where it gets a bit more interesting is when you get to the professional page. So I've aced Trade Broker and Consumerism because this is a build that heavily utilizes armor repair kits and frag grenades. So, the more armor repair kits you get access to, the better, is kind of really the main idea behind it. And then just for more hostage skills, Magnetic Charm base, Scare Tactics, and Human Resources base. Human Resources is because of frag grenades, and Scare Tactics is for longer heists or if your hostages keep getting killed. And then base Utility Belt because it's where an extra skill point went, so yeah, more throwables, more grenades, why not? And then onto the page where I've put a vast majority of the skills, the Soldier page. So all of the base skills, all the tier 1 skills, Extra Protection, Rifleman, and Bombs Away are aced. And then Headguard is also aced because it's both for the damage reduction to armor plates, and also just because since this build runs 4-plate, any bit of cooldown for your armor is good. So you might as well have it. There's no reason not to, really. And then in the Juggernaut tree, there's also Beast of Burden, base, just so you can carry 2 bags at a time. And then Bastion Ace, just so you can endure anything and everything. Get out of a cloaker attack if need be, get out of Zapper, It's good for getting you out of a bad situation. That's really the point of it, and it does that job well. In Commando, just make sure you have 4 skills total. That's kind of what I go for. You can have either Focus Fire and Ace it, or you can have Focus Fire, Stockpile Assault, Hollow Point Rounds, and Breaking Point base, just so long as you get 0.6 Armor Pen, just so you can get even more Armor Pen on the Assault Rifle that you use. Personally, I like using the Chanet S3. It's a very fun Assault Rifle, especially when you spec fully into the Armor Pen aspect. But a non-DLC alternative Assault Rifle is the KU-59, the AK equivalent in this game. And then lastly, Grenadier, because it's frag grenades. Burn damage aced, Scavenger aced so you can get them back, and Mad Bomber aced so you can get even more explosions for your explosions. That's as far as the skills go, but really the specialties come in this build when you get to the armor and overkill weapon. The primary reason I have 4-plate set up the way I do, where it's 1 resistant, 3 impact, is because of the Minigun's second overkill perk. Basically, as long as you get to 30 damage reduction on this little square here, and your armor fully breaks, with the way this is set up, the game treats it as if you get an armor bag charge, therefore meaning you refill your entire armor frame. And that's how you can survive going outside very easily with an armor that has a otherwise 10-second cooldown. The minigun is great when you're not focusing on killing things. Seriously, this thing needs a damage buff. Ugh. But yeah, the general gameplay loop of this is get hostages, throw grenades to kill big crowds, get the minigun, and then press objective when you have the minigun, because then you don't need to worry about your armor going away. The big downside of this is your biggest enemy is going to be the Grenadier. Not the Dozer, not the Zapper, not the Cloaker, because you have Bastion for those, and you also just have 4-plate invincibility. And assault rifles are really good for destroying Dozer faceplates, too. No, the real problem is Grenadiers because of their gas cloud. You have a lot of armor in this build, but basically no health. That's why you have medic bags as the way to get yourself back full, in case just in case you get the medic bag down, get yourself back to full health, and then start using armor repair kits from hostages you trade, or the SWAT you actually take hostage. Get them, trade them for armor repair kits and first aid kits, keep yourself topped up at all times. Because the other interesting thing about the way that the armor frame is set up, when you use an armor repair kit on the blue plate, it will restore not only the blue plate, but also the next impact plate in front of it. It won't restore all 4, it's not like the old clean slate ability, but it's enough to give you an extra armor plate basically for free, so long as you have an armor repair kit. And it's just a really good way to keep yourself alive and going in a very bad situation for a bit longer, especially when you can abuse the 2-second invincibility of 4-plate when you're throwing your frag grenades. But yeah, I like this build a lot just because of the sheer kill potential it has. It's very fun. Just be prepared to be very, very slow. Alright, next one is one that I actually teased in my Road Rage video, which is a sniper turret build combo. Much like other turret builds, it's a turret build, so the first thing you want to do is go to the mechanic page and just ace everything in the engineer tree. Because the primary thing you're focusing on is your turrets. You're going to be sitting in one place, making sure that your turrets cover you while you get long-range threats with the sniper rifle. I've also put a single point into point blank and speed loader, just so I can have some shotgun skills for the Justicar secondary in case anything does get close and the turrets are out of commission. Or, go somewhere else, get some armor repair kits or trade hostages or something like that. It's the backup weapon, it's what a sidearm is supposed to be, so I want to at least put a couple points into it to make it easier to use. And since this build also runs shock grenades, I'm going to have shock factor, stunned, and electric tenderizer, because electric tenderizer base is going to be very good for dozers. Because every time a shock grenade blast hits the same enemy, that enemy will take more damage from all sources, is really good when a dozer gets stuck next to your turrets. You can shock grenade him and the turrets at the same time. It instant heals the turrets. You can also hit him with the sniper rifle, and he takes at least 30% more damage. So that's a good way to counter dozers. And everything else you should be able to take care of from a range, especially when you go to the professional page for sniper skills and hostage skills, because, it's right next to there. You might as well have them. Trade Broker aced, Magnetic Charm aced. Why do I have my... Trade Broker aced, Consumerism aced for more consumables, Magnetic Charm base, and Scare Tactics base, so that you can just have hostages, get them, make sure you have them, get more resources, survive even longer. Especially since your turrets are taking care of the actual enemy killing for you. But when you don't want to let your turrets do literally everything, that's what the sniper rifle comes into play for, where head games aced, because acing head games is the only reason you should even have head games in the first place, because of it stacking so high. That's the real way your sniper rifle is going to do a lot of damage. Skull Trauma is aced as well, so you can get even more damage with your sniper rifles and a faster reload speed, especially in my case, since I use the Spearfish, that reload speed comes in really handy. Return Policy base and Armor Piercing base, because it's just more things to have. It's not that bad. It's just good to have. That's pretty much it. And then Ricochet base, just so you can have a bit more crowd control with the sniper rifle. But other than that, this is a very simple to explain and simple to understand build. It's just you have turrets that cover you, and then you, in your sniper spot, will snipe and keep your teammates safe from anything that might come near them. Your survivability is not going to be that great, but that's where you kind of come up with your own armor frame for it. Usually I would recommend Impact, and I would also say possibly 3-plate, so you can guaranteed have a shot grenade at all times to take care of whatever threat's possible, because you're not going to have to worry about shields, zappers, or techies with shot grenades. And then dozers also just get the damage debuff, but you want to make sure that your turrets are primarily handling them. In case you really want to take care of dozers, though, that's why I have the Het 5 Red Fox equipped on this build, because that is the single target deleter. In case you really don't want to bother with the dozers and your turrets are already kind of down anyway, just take the Red Fox and just snipe the dozer. Suddenly you don't have to worry about him. And if you don't use it, then you can also let one of your teammates use it. Especially, this is if you're playing multiplayer. It's still viable single player, but it's not exactly the best. It still works, it's just not as good as it could be. Primary weapon, I would recommend any sniper rifle, honestly, because any of them can be good in the right hands, but the FIC-22 is not going to be that great for the long range idea of this. So if you want, you can still use it, granted, but it's not something I would recommend. But for sidearms, well, really, I would only say the Justicar, because at that point, you have Speed Loader and Point Blank. That's what I put those there for. So that's what they would primarily help with. This build is not complicated, it's just very simple and to the point, for better and for worse, because it's a turret build. You're not going to have much in terms of survivability, but you're going to have a lot of offense. So that's the primary thing that you're going to be building into here. Is just making sure that anything that comes near you will die to your turrets, and anything far away from you will die to your sniper rifle. That's kind of the main quadrat demonstratum, because it's turrets and snipers. How else do you explain it? So the last build I have here is sort of a dodge and ammo bag build, because the star of the show on this build is your dodge stats and the smoke grenades that you have. Primarily, I have a 3-plate on this build because I don't have any real way to get smoke grenades back, aside from shooting naders with a handgun for Bounty Hunter to proc and give you an extra throwable back. But other than that, primarily what the big loop of this is throw down a smoke grenade, take care of a crowd, and assuming you are at 1 plate, shoot them with your handgun because they're all going to be marked by smoke grenades, and then look at that, your whole health bar is now adrenaline because you're dodging and getting health back. You want to have a good amount of points in the ninja tree. I have Dodge This aced, Flow State aced, Under Pressure aced, and On the Run base. These are primarily for getting your dodge stat up, and Under Pressure aced is so that you can get even more adrenaline, especially when you're in a smoke cloud, because you're getting adrenaline in there anyway, and it's a good chance for you to survive even longer. Speaking of smoke grenades, Heavy Smoker aced, Brain Fog aced, Poisonous Gas aced, Smoke Screen, and Escape Artist. Escape Artist is the most helpful here because it's one of the things that will let you solo dozers, basically. So long as you have a smoke grenade in your possession, you basically do get downed, but if you're shooting a dozer anyway, especially with a handgun, since going into the hacker tree, Bounty Hunter is aced, you will restore that down immediately. So it's not that much of a big deal. As for hacker itself, Bullseye aced, Quick Draw aced, Stockpile Handgun so you can get to tier 3, Spatial Awareness aced, and Bounty Hunter aced. And high marks so you can also take less damage, but also guaranteed it's less damage and also a higher chance of dodging so you can get health back. And also so you can just get to tier 4 and get Bounty Hunter relatively cheaply. And lastly, since this is an ammo bag build, Munitions Expert aced, ammo up 2 aced, ammo up 1 standard, then Utility Belt aced and Bullet Frenzy aced, so your ammo bags will help other people when they want to use a bunch of ammo, and also restore even more throwables, because you are going to carry a lot of smoke grenades. Because stockpile smoke grenades, like all the stockpile skills are stupid, I've gone on about that before. But, again, this is a build where you want to have a bunch of smoke grenades. If you desperately need them, You go after naders or put down your ammo bag and start chucking them, and then just kill any marked enemy possible with your handgun to get as many benefits as possible. If you start running low on ammo, that's why I have the FSA 12 gauge equipped on this build, because there are no skills for any other weapon. And you want one that's just good for getting a bunch of enemies to stagger and just leaving you alone. And the FSA is really good at that. What I was really surprised by when I actually tried recording with this build is just how much survivability it has when you're combining dodge with the marking capability of Bounty Hunter and spatial awareness giving you health back. I did not expect to have full green bars of adrenaline, especially when you have, especially when combined with Sociopath, and you can just, the entire bar is green. There's nothing to worry about on that. This is one of the unexpected but very fun builds to use, and I would highly recommend taking advantage of it. I will leave a link to all of these builds in the description below so you can go ahead and put them into the game. This is assuming that you are at level 150 and have all 51 skill points. So next time on Payday 3, in terms of my content, I'll be going into year 2 of Payday 3 in terms of what the heist could use in terms of improvements. Though I may make a small separate video before that just to talk about one of the problems I have with that heist and some of the year 2 heists in general. Or that could just be something I implement in my video about the next heist in general. So yeah, until then, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for sticking by, and take care.